All right, guys. We're here, man. Finally here. This is the Goddamn Podcast. Something that has been brewing for a while. And as I was thinking about my first episode, I was like, who could I bring on that's gonna set this thing off right? And you know how people say, you're my best friend. Like, man, I've known them forever, since I was, since I could literally say that we've been together since before my first breath. And so I was like, yo, I gotta bring somebody on that's important, someone that is impactful, someone who's monumental. And who better than the woman who's been with me literally from day one. Even before day one, she's been with me. And so I think that it's super duper dope that this is about to happen. She is an amazing woman. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is a sister. She is a daughter. She is a good friend to many. The accolades that I could, throw out there are probably endless. She has a huge presence in the community, and just in everyone's life that she is involved with. And so I am super grateful to call her friend, because I feel like not everybody can call their mom friend, but then also too, I'm blessed to call her my mom. So please, everybody, welcome my mom to the Goddamn Podcast. Yeah, she's here. I'm gonna call you mama, but I don't know. Do you want to say anything? You want to?
Well, you didn't say TT. And
that's true. That is one of your huge titles, your monikers. TT. TT baby.
Yeah.
She's TT baby. That's what she's TT baby. So
I have the best nieces and nephews.
That's right. This is true. This is very true. She's TT baby. You was kind of jamming right there. I don't want to cut the music out. You know what I mean? I feel like,
Yeah, I was feeling that.
All right, do this for me. Say podcast. Podcast. Say podcast. That goddamn podcast. Podcast. Say podcast. Oh, say podcast. That goddamn podcast. Welcome to the podcast. About to get it going, though. You didn't really know this, but your boy be flowing, though. About to drop bombs. One time for my mom. About to get it going. Yeah, you already knowin'. Hey, we just here, chillin' in the Ville. About to get into some things. Gonna tell you how we feel. Living that life, all up on the mic. Shout out to my mama, my kids and my wife. On the podcast, that podcast. Mom, what's up with these ad-libs you got going on? Why are you doing the whisper song? The whisper song listen, I appreciate it. I thoroughly appreciate it.
You should have.
We did not rehearse this. We did not rehearse this.
This was on my feet. So,
and the whisper is amazing. I'm just gonna let you know. But the Yin Yang Twins took that. You remember that song? You remember that song?
Mm-mm.
Let me sing it for you.
Let me hear.
You remember that song? Wait till you see mine.
What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a whole song. Wait till you see mine. I'm gonna beat the. Yeah.
No.
You know, no. You don't know that one?
Stop. No, and I don't want to know.
Stop it.
And I don't want you to know it.
Well, I know it.
No.
How you don't know that song?
Don't be knowing it.
I'm just saying, that was a popular tune.
Let it go.
Okay. All right. I'm just, that's where I thought your inspiration came from.
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. I can dig it. So, Mom, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting the invitation, because I feel like you could have said no.
I feel like I probably will, at the end of this, wished I would have said no.
Why do you feel that way?
Because you're my child, and I know there's no telling what you're gonna come up with today. But
I think we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have fun.
I'm always down for a good time.
I do. This is what I do know about you. I know that you are going to create a good time. You've always created a good time. I remember, and we're gonna do a lot of remembering, but I mean, I remember the times where we went to great times when I was younger. I was telling somebody this the other day. I was like, my birthday is December 23rd. For you guys, for those of you who don't know that, I'll drop my Cash App so that way you guys can, let the Lord use you. But I remember my birthdays always being, hard to do because it was winter, and as even as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's hard to do because people travel around my birthday, and so I can't really get all my friends together in one place on my birthday, and so it's always been a task. But when I was younger, I just remember going to the hotels, and you would always make sure that I was able to have like all my cousins and a few friends and whatnot at the hotel. So you do know how to create a good time, even on a budget. One of my favorite pastimes was going to the canal and just rolling down the hills. That was just it didn't cost you anything.
It didn't cost a penny.
You just roll down the hill.
And you had to get down to the bottom first.
You had to get down to the bottom first.
That's right.
Rolling. And you just see all these black kids just rolling. You're like, I'm pretty sure the people who was like on looking were like, what in the world?
They wanted to do it too.
Where do you think that creativity that you have, where do you think that comes from? What does that steer from? Like, how does that happen for you?
I believe everything, every good and perfect thing comes from God.
All right,
you already knew I was going to say that.
We're not doing
asked.
I know that, but we're not doing the church thing.
This is to keep it real. This is to keep it real.
No,
podcast, right?
It is. But
so
this
that's
is not
real.
church,
that's
though.
real. It's not church. It's just, it's in us.
Mom,
not just me. It's in you too.
This podcast is 7 minutes into existence and it's already going the complete opposite way of the way I designed it. I'm serious.
Yeah,
okay, so
that's where I feel like it came from. Because it's just so.
Well, we know that though. Like I get that. I understand that.
You know that, but there's some people out there that might not know that.
Wow. That's okay. All right. So that's
so this ain't about what you know.
All right.
Where do you think it come from?
No. Let me finish this because I don't want people to think that I don't like Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm a huge Jesus fan.
That's why you said the God.
No. See, I changed the name. You didn't know that, did you?
I heard you just say God.
Yeah, I said GOT, G-O-T. Some people got offended. Okay. Some of your church people.
Yeah, we were. Because it didn't sound right.
Yeah, the original name.
We didn't like it.
The original name was going to be the God Dame Podcast, and I was playing on the inference of the swear, of the cursing, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't I wanted that shock factor, which it did shock, and people were like, oh, wow. And, my friend, I call him my friend because I feel like we know each other, but we don't. But Jay-Z once said, he said, good art forces you to have an opinion. And so that was the inspiration behind the original name. I was like, I want something that's going to make people have an opinion one way or the other. And so I was like, goddamn podcast, playing on the, curse word, God, you know what I'm saying? And so, some people got offended. And so I just changed it to G-O-T instead of G-O-D. But initially the way I wrote it out was God, comma, Dame. So it's like God and Dame. It's like, when you in English class, you learn that if you're listing multiple things, you got to put a comma. So it was going to be the God Dame Podcast. And I was going to say it with the inference of the swear word. But, it didn't happen because people got offended. Church people. Yep.
We will. We're known for that.
Facts. And that's part of my issue.
I know.
You know what I mean? I grew up in church. And you made sure that I went to church. I feel like my generation is one of the last generations, like where Saturday morning was youth choir rehearsal, You know what I mean? We had Sunday school and whatnot. And so let's rewind a little bit and let's talk about the importance or why you thought it was important to have me in church.
I thought it was important to set you up for success. And by you attending church, I knew you would learn a lot of valuable lessons, and it would definitely set you up for success in life. And I don't regret it.
You shouldn't regret it. I don't want you to regret it. I don't regret it. I agree. I do 100% agree. And I think that if I were to go back and actually think about it, there are a lot of men and women in the church throughout the years that I have borrowed from to create the tapestry that is me. You know what I mean? I could talk about everybody from, I'll tell you somebody who I never really had a conversation with, but I still think about from time to time. That's Deacon Butler from New Hope Missionary Baptist Church.
Cool dude.
Cool guy. Never really, I mean, he never was mean to me. We never had any type of altercation, anything like that. He wasn't someone who was, there were other deacons who were a little bit more, inviting and whatever else.
Brother Butler has always been sweet. You can see him today and he'll just love on you.
What shocked me was to find out, because, every Sunday I see him and I never see his wife. Ever. I never see his wife. Not until I go to middle school and she ends up being my math teacher. And I was like, and I told her what church I went to. She said, "Oh yeah, my husband." I said, "Deacon Brother?" She said, "Yeah." And I thought it was weird that they didn't go to the same church. But that is a lesson that I carried over into my marriage, because when me and Kristen initially got together, we were doing youth ministry. I was doing youth ministry. See, that's why I messed up. But I was doing youth ministry, and I thought we were doing. Turns out, yes, it was just me. I was doing youth ministry, and it was one day where, because for those of you who don't know, my wife is white. I am, in fact, Negro, and we had two different church experiences growing up. So with youth ministry and the black church, for the most part, there's a lot of leg work that is done by whoever is in charge, whoever the youth leader is, whoever the youth pastor is. And so one of the things that I was doing was I was picking up kids, to bring them to youth group. And because my wife grew up in a different kind of church culture, where parents were a little bit more involved, she couldn't understand, like, why are we going to pick up these kids? Why aren't these parents dropping their kids off? And she later learned that, they ain't, a lot of these kids are raising themselves. Parents are working, for whatever reason. And so, but I say that to say there was one moment where, I don't know if you know this, but there was one moment where we were about to walk into youth group, and at this time we were running 2 cars. This is how many kids we were picking up. She was going to pick up a group of kids, and then I was picking up a group of kids. And we met back at the church, and we got ready to go inside, and she literally stopped in the middle of the street and was like, "Yo, I can't do this." I was like, "What?" Like, she's like, I just can't do it. And it was too much for her. And I had the presence of mind at that time, thank God. And I think I picked it up from all these different men in the church, and all these different relationships that I seen modeled in the church. I had the presence of mind to know that, okay, well, I want my wife to be as happy as possible, because, as I am pastoring these kids or mentoring these kids, she's like my pastor at this time. So I need my house to be, solid and in order. And so if that means that she needs to have time away from this, then, I'm perfectly fine with that. And so we made the decision. But Deacon Butler is somebody I always think about, because him and his wife didn't attend the same church, but they were still together. And I just, it was rare, but it worked. And so, yeah. But no, I do appreciate growing up in church, but maybe you can explain to the people what my relationship with church looks like now.
We're praying. We're praying. Minister Damon is on.
No, my name is Damon.
No.
No, that's my name.
Well, no. I mean, yeah, but no.
You gave me that name.
Yeah, I did. But of course, God had a different plan. And I believe you're on the run, but you're not running well, because even in the process of your running, you're still sowing good seed. And it's being watered, and I mean, it's just in you, baby. And it's gonna be easier on you when you just throw up your little hands.
Mom, it's not. I don't believe that I'm. Why do you think I'm running? Just answer that one for me.
Because you see things differently, and not bad differently, but you are wanting to advance the church too fast.
Huh.
You're just wanting to go from 1919 to 2020, and overnight, kind of.
Okay.
And sometimes it takes time to get there.
Share an example of like maybe a conversation we've had or a thought that you think that you've heard me utter. Like, what do you mean by I want to do it too fast? Like, I want to advance the church too fast.
I feel like you have very good ideas. Very Your ways of doing things are different from the way that we've been taught.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And in saying that, we will get to where you are, but we're not going to go there overnight.
Yeah, but why?
Because it takes time. You've got people that have been walking sideways for 80 years. And these people that have been walking sideways for 80 years have carried the load of bringing this church from 80 years ago to now. And now you're wanting them to take 5 steps forward. They're not used to taking 5 steps forward. They just walk sideways.
And I can understand it. I can understand it. But then, so once someone shows you a better way, or shows you the fact that here's my biggest, I guess, gripe is that every major staple or industry, I don't want to like call the church an industry, but we'll just say, for lack of better terming, industry, had every major industry over the last 100 years has literally changed what it looks like, right? So for instance, banking. You used to work at a bank. Banking no longer looks like in 2020 what it looked like in 1980. It's completely different. I remember as a kid, one of the things, and I was born in 88, but in the 90s, I remember Fridays, I always wanted to get in the car with somebody who was going to the bank because it was just a cool experience. First of all, you had to go to the bank and you had to make it there at a certain time, right? Am I tripping?
Yes.
You had to make it there at a certain time because not every bank was open on Saturdays. And then some of them they were, but even on Saturdays, it was like a shorter time. But you needed to get that money. If you had plans on Friday, you need to get to the bank to cash that check. But I remember sitting in the back and and get in the sucker. You know what I'm saying? That was like, one of the things that
always drive through, you get that sucker.
Get the sucker. My kids will never know that. Why? Because banking is different. I don't step foot in the bank. There's no need for me to step foot in the bank. I have no desire to step foot in the bank. I can do everything I need to do literally from my phone, except for when I'm handling cash. That's about the only time. But even then, I don't need to go into a bank. I just need to hit up an ATM and make a deposit. And so that's one example. We could talk about a gazillion other examples of industries that have evolved over time. But here's my thing. You take a snapshot of a church from 100 years ago and you compare that to a church today. I'm just talking about literally, like if we had the ability to time travel and go take a picture at the back of the church from 100 years ago and then compare that to a picture of a church from the back of a church today, literally the only thing that changes is the fashion and technology. Like as far as like there'll be words on screens.
The fashion was easy to change.
I know it was.
We still struggle.
I know it was.
I was in Atlanta last year, And they're like, give me your earrings. My earrings? You got to take that necklace off.
So you thought you was getting jacked, huh? By the ushers.
So.
Well, but that's I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like other industries have evolved and they look different. You know what I'm saying? There's two industries that look exactly the same as they did 100 years ago. And it's crazy because one begot the other. And that's school and church. Church begot school. Like school came out of church. And they both look the same today. They have not evolved. And one can make the point that here in America, they are some of the greatest failures in 2020, churches and schools. And neither one of them were prepared for the pandemic. Neither church nor schools were prepared for the pandemic. You know who was prepared for the pandemic? Facebook, banking, entertainment for the most part. The movies weren't, but you know, it's the movies. See what I mean? But you know, maybe the food industry wasn't. Well, even then, I mean, you got DoorDash and things of that nature.
So maybe God is helping you advance the church through the pandemic.
Yeah, but y'all don't listen.
Because you know I was just thinking about that this morning. I said to myself, before on a Sunday morning, we'd go in there, we shut the doors, we get comfortable on the pews. And we have not been able to sit in them pews. He been bringing us from the parking lot to the Facebook, and we didn't want to go on Facebook. A lot of us would not even touch the computer. But now we have to.
Got to.
And guess what? That's where everybody is.
Yeah.
Those are people we need to talk to.
That's very true. And so I don't know. I guess my thing is I love the Lord Jesus Christ. I just don't really rock with his people like that. And I think the other thing too is, you know, this political climate, this racial climate that we live in now too. I think it exposed, you know, the true feelings of people who I would have once considered brother and sister. And so I attended a huge, mainly white church here in town the day after Trump won, you know, in 2016. And I just sat there thinking to myself, like, man, y'all don't really mean it when you call me brother. Y'all don't really mean that. Because if you meant that, you know, you're not going to let somebody disrespect family. You're not going to let somebody, you know what I'm saying, talk violently towards family. And so sitting in a situation where you're surrounded by, you know, people who you know what I mean, based off the stats, voted a certain way, and, you know, it made you feel like, you know, you don't really consider me, you know what I'm saying? And you don't consider me an equal. You don't consider me a brother. You don't consider me family. And so when you're singing these tunes, what are you really talking about? Because this is talking about kingdom, and you don't necessarily believe that. You know what I mean? And so that was another thing that kind of hurt me. And so I just kind of like, you know, I kind of had to back away. And the other thing, working in the church, I remember being the only African-American youth pastor in this county. Like that was actively like working with other ones, right? As far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as attending like the monthly meetings and things of that nature. And one of the things that I noticed was I was one of the only ones who wasn't getting paid full time. And so I was like, man, you know what? This church thing is cool, but I got kids. I got a wife. I got family. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a lot of things that got me to the point where I am now. But, you know, still love the Lord. And I still dig the concept a little bit of church. But it's hard for me to be where I once was. You know, and so you're right. Maybe it'll change at some point.
And I'm sorry that you've experienced those things, and I just consider them church hurts.
Yes, this is very true.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with church hurt.
I do.
Yeah, but you don't deal with it correctly. So,
hey, listen,
I mean,
if you struggle with church hurt, call me. I'll tell you exactly what to do.
Do not call him.
I'll tell you exactly. You tell him to.
So, again, I'm sorry you had to experience that. But know that he warned us of that. That, there's going to be some things going on inside those doors that are not what he ordained.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to make sure that no matter what we're doing, we're keeping our eyes on him and not them. Because a lot of times we get more caught up in them and not him. So,
and that's my problem. I don't like them.
That's it.
That's what it is. I don't like
them.
Yeah, them.
But don't hold him responsible.
I don't think I'm holding him responsible. Because you said I'm still throwing my seed.
Yeah, you are.
That's what you instructed us to do.
But I know you could do more.
Well, listen, yeah. I mean, there's definitely other things that can be done. Yeah, for sure,
for sure.
But I
and what I love about him, is that he's never treated you in a way to where he's like, oh, you gonna do that, so I'm gonna do this. He continuously blesses you.
He tests us too, though.
Oh, definitely.
I had a testing week this week.
Okay.
You experienced some of it. So I wake up one day, car won't start. Car will not start. Luckily, my mom, being the awesome person she is, the Lord's put it in her heart to call me. She called me. Hey, what you doing? Car won't start. I'll come pick you up, take you to work. Mom picks me up, takes me to work. Find out it was a battery. The battery was old. It was like a 2013 battery, so we swapped it out. Car's just fine. A couple of days go by, right? And the knob on the shower, kids went to turn the water off. They were in the tub. They went to turn the water off, and it wouldn't shut off. So Kristen goes up there and attempts to turn it off, and she ends up breaking the knob off of the shower. So now the water's continuing to flow, and they call me. I'm out, I think, working, photo shoot or something like that. And she's like, what do I do? And so I instructed her how to turn off the valve in the back. And so boom, that happened. So now I got to get that fixed. And so, the whole knob broke. And really what it was it was a mechanism on the inside of the knob that controls the water starting and stopping. That had gone out or whatever. And so we had to get that swapped out. So I, had that happen. A couple days go by. I go outside to get in my car. It's on flat. This is a couple days ago. I just had to change the battery. It's on flat. And so fix that. I had to take off work to fix that. And while that happened, the dishwasher broke. This is all within, so yes, he blesses me.
So what I heard
I wouldn't
was,
all right.
Let me just okay. Clear it up. So
all right.
What I heard was your car didn't start, but it was a car that was paid off sitting in your driveway. And you had another car that you could have got into that you didn't really need to get into because he still provided a way for you to get to work. So that's what I just heard.
That's what you heard?
That's what I heard. And then when you thought it was something really big, it was just a battery. Okay, that's him. That's what he do. That's how he roll. So then I heard, so you actually had running water that you wanted to stop. Some people didn't have running water that day. So that's what I heard. And that's why I tell you, he just continues to.
This podcast is going in the complete opposite direction.
Hey, you invited me. Thanks for having me. I want to say thank you for having me.
I have noticed that.
And then I heard, that that you had a flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I wonder how you gonna spend this one.
And you had 3 wheels that was still standing tall, and you still had another car in the driveway that you could have jumped into, and I mean, a flat, you know. And then how many photo shoots did you have that week? He just keeps providing, you know. So that tire did need to be changed, and sometimes that happens. But through it all, sing just a little bit of that. My good days outweigh my bad days.
I'm not playing with you right now.
I won't complain.
No, because I complain. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
But were you about to do the dishwasher too?
Oh, you got something you can actually put your dishes in, and it washes it for you.
I thought you was gonna talk about, oh, you got dishes.
No, I'm just saying a lot of us are still kind of running that water in the sink, and you got something to put and that just kind of stopped working.
Okay, so listen,
I'm just saying, throw them little hands up. That's all I'm saying.
Lift up your dirty hands.
Lift up them dirty little hands and give God some praise, because He's good.
He is. No, for sure.
I don't care who you get mad at in the building. He's still good. He's still providing.
Amen.
Amen.
If I don't learn anything about church, you say amen. Normally, it kind of helps wrap things up. No, but what I will say is I do appreciate, I wasn't going to go as deep as you were going, but I was like, at least the car wouldn't start in my driveway. You know what I'm saying? At least, it was here where that happened. And so, I get all that. So let me ask you this, Mom, kind of switching lanes a little bit. Let's go back and let's talk about something that I feel like a lot of people, especially people who follow me, might be interested in hearing about. And it's a conversation that me and you have never had. And I think this could be
a conversation
that me and you've never had.
That we've never had.
And we're gonna have it live.
I can't imagine that.
We're gonna have it live. No, I'm serious,
okay.
Mom.
Let's talk about it.
We're gonna have it live right now.
Okay.
So the year is 1988.
That was a great year.
Why was it a great year?
You were born.
Amen. Yes, Amen. I was definitely born.
Yes.
But let's talk about how that happened. You want to talk about it?
I feel like I was married. What?
The misremembering. The misremembering. I'm serious, Mom, because I feel like there are a lot of young women who are younger, and they are having children or have had children, and they are in interesting spots. And so I feel like as a woman who has raised 4 fairly successful kids in their own right, I think that it would be awesome for them to hear from you. And I'm not just talking about teenagers, although, you did have me as a teen. I'm talking about just young women, period, raising kids in, I would say, less than ideal predicaments. You know what I'm saying? So you're 17 years old, and you find out. How did you find out you were pregnant?
I think I missed.
Never had this conversation. You said you missed a period.
I did. I missed a period.
Okay, and so that's how you found out.
That's how I found out. It was scary.
Yeah,
that was.
Because you were anticipating it and it didn't happen.
Because I was anticipating a period.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
Look forward to having those. That was like, yeah.
Okay. And so, did you go get a test?
I did.
Yeah. You got it, or somebody else got it?
I got it.
You went and did that?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Planned Parenthood.
And they gave you a test?
On Meridian.
Okay. And they gave you a test?
They did. They tested me.
Oh, so it wasn't a thing you take to the crib and
no.
You went and got like an actual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And so then so it comes back, hey.
This is getting weird. I can feel this in my stomach like I did that day. This is,
You pregnant?
No. But it was scary. I mean, that's how scary it was.
Did you go by yourself or?
Yes.
So
I was by myself.
So at this point, does anybody know?
No.
No one knows.
Nope.
You got 3 sisters at home. Nobody knows.
They snitches. Still today. No.
Okay, so you're at Planned Parenthood and you get the info that yes, you are pregnant. What are your thoughts?
I cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had plans. This is junior year or sophomore year? This junior year. You're 17.
Yeah. I cried. It was hard. It was because my mother was crazy. My mother, ooh.
Let me tell my
grandma
like that. How you gonna
tell this lady something like this?
But you wouldn't have been the first though.
No.
So that doesn't make it. That doesn't make it easier.
No, it don't. No.
You sure?
I was the youngest though.
Right.
Like everybody else was older than me when they had their first.
Okay.
And then I had you before my oldest sister even had a child.
Right.
But it was rough. Not only just telling her, but then going back to the church where I was very active. And for the people in the church to know.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, they church people.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into that. Okay, so you're at Planned Parenthood, you find it and you cry. What's the root of the cry? What's the what's causing? Scared?
Yeah.
Fear. Okay. Fear of the
unknown.
Like
I said, and then just letting so many people down.
Yeah.
Because, people like really believed in me. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I've let all these people down. Because we had all that in Bible study. No having sex before married and all that stuff. And I didn't follow through. I dropped the ball.
Huh. Okay. All right. So who do you tell first?
I think I told Damon first.
Damon is
your dad.
Okay. All right.
Your father.
There you go.
Yes.
You've called him other things in my.
I was gonna say donor, but
in my mind, I've heard more colorful language when referring to. Okay,
I don't think I have though. Be honest.
No. I would say for the most part, yeah. So I would say 95% of the time, you have been very, very positive.
I might have like made a face or something like that, but I've never.
I remember one time he. I remember one time he had bought me a pullover, like a coat, little lighter jacket. It was a pullover. It was really dope in the 90s, and it was, man, it might have been from something like not TJ Maxx,
Cash Bargain. You remember Cash Bargain?
I do remember Cash Bargain. I don't think it was from Cash Bargain.
I don't know.
It was someplace out there by Lafayette, but it wasn't Lafayette Square Mall though. It was like somewhere over there. I forget. It doesn't matter. What's the store? They had a furniture store too, but they also
Value City.
It was Value City. That's what it was. Value City. He had bought me a little pullover from Value City, and I brought it back. And I was so proud of it. And you just destroyed it. You buy that cheap. Yeah. So yeah, you threw shots from time to time, but it wasn't constant though. Okay. I would say 95% of the time. 90. Let's be real. 90% of the time you were mad positive, but then you had your 10% where you know what I mean?
I probably did.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, okay, so you told him first, and we've never had this conversation before. What's his response?
He was always like dramatic, like emotional, dramatic, like for real. Like excited, basically.
Okay. Okay. So who's the first family member you told?
It was probably Mama.
Okay. So
And I don't know if I told her. Mama would have dreams. And so,
she knew the Lord for real, huh?
Yeah, she would have dreams. And not only hers, there's the aunts. It's just crazy. I was dreaming of fish last night. Somebody pregnant. So,
Okay,
that might have been how it came out. I really don't remember, to be honest.
And her reaction was what?
Basically, what are you gonna do?
Huh. I don't know why, but I knew I was gonna ask you this question, and in my mind, I made it up that you told Faye first before you told anybody.
I don't know. I believe I told Mama first.
Huh.
I don't know.
I just know that you and Faye had a close relationship.
Very close.
And so I just automatically assumed that you told
She was like Mama to me in a lot of ways. Faye was the older sister, so she worked, and when she went to work, she made sure I had everything. So Mama took care of like the house stuff, but Faye would buy me those extra things.
Yeah.
Dale worked, and Dale made good money, I found out, but she didn't really buy me nothing.
Damn, let me find out.
She was in school doing well. And then she was working 2 jobs. She would work during the day and at night, but she worked and kind of got out the house and, kind of started living on her own and stuff like that. She was kind of...
Well, you've never really been pregnant while any of your sisters were pregnant.
Mm-mm.
But Dale would have just... Bradley would have been...
Yeah, he's just a little older than you.
Just a little bit older than me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you tell my father, you tell grandma,
who then has a talk with your grandmother. She called like Wilma right away.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't play. I don't know how that conversation went, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She called her immediately. She knew what her son had done.
But I mean, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
All right. Okay. So
that's
you
true.
know what I mean? Okay, so boom, December 23rd, 1988. I'm born. Was there any did you have a name in mind?
Yeah. You had girl name and boy name, yes.
What was the girl name that you had?
Oh
gosh, I'm about to find out what my name would have been. This is dope.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was can't remember.
What about the boy name?
It was Dana.
So you were cool with that from the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's dope. I mean, okay, so boom, I'm here, 1988. And fast forward 3 more kids. Mm-hmm. So Misha comes, and then so 3 more kids, but only 2 more pregnancies because the last pregnancy is twins, James and Jasmine.
Correct.
And so the relationship obviously soured. It did not, it wasn't what you may have anticipated. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because I feel like a lot of the, girls my age or younger, I feel like they get into these relationships and then they sour, or they're not what they envisioned. And, they're let down and, hurt. And I'd imagine you probably felt some of these same emotions, but
definitely.
But there was still you still like continued even prior to being married. You still continued, and you still progressed. How was that possible?
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It was nothing but God.
Okay.
But I think where you want to go is I felt like I had to make a choice. I had to choose you all or him. I worked every day. I couldn't continue to deal with him and what he was going through. And then it was nothing that I wanted you all to mimic
Yeah.
or to be a part of. And I felt like he had ample opportunity because between you and Misha, there's 6 years.
Yeah, that's very true.
So he had ample opportunity to step up to the plate
And it seems like I've never been the only child, but I guess I was for
for a long time.
Yeah, I guess I was.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember bits and pieces of that because you.
And sometimes people still think you're the only child.
But no, I remember you worked at Frisch's.
I did.
You worked at Frisch's Big Boys, and I remember you bringing me home shrimp. You know what I mean? Some nights. I remember sitting in the living room, probably watching Ninja Turtles with Grandma.
Ninja Turtles, Drop Dead Fred, Home Alone.
Yeah, those were the bops. You know what I mean? That's what we did. You know what I mean? And Grandma would sit there watch with me
all night.
That's
all
right.
Night. Yep. I get off at 12 o'clock and y'all just sitting there.
But I remember you bring me fried shrimp. I will say that I feel like I've always seen you hustle. I've always seen you work. I've always seen you put forth an effort. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's kind of where I got it from. Like, I gotta find a way to get to it. You know what I'm saying? In some shape, form, or fashion. And so I think you instilled that in me. But I see it also too in Grandpa. He's always up doing something. Even great grandma. So grandma's grandma. I remember every time we went down to Mississippi, she was always ironing.
Yeah.
She was always up doing like she never was like, she would sit down and rest for, here and there. But for the most part, like she was always
breakfast
up.
Every morning.
Breakfast. Oh, what?
Biscuits.
Oh. Homemade. We not talking about what
she
you
just in there just
what?
Yeah. And nobody's doing that now.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's sad. I took Kristen down there a couple years ago, and we stayed with Uncle Will, Aunt Georgia, and Kristen was completely dumbfounded at breakfast. Once again, white wife, different culture. And so, we got and even, just from, being black from Indianapolis versus going down there, like, it's a big breakfast. I mean, there was smothered pork chops, gravy, you know what I mean? Rice, sausage, bacon, biscuits, eggs, you know what I mean? Hash brown. What you want? What you want? Yeah. I remember staying with, I stayed the night with Chance one time. We had fried chicken, like legit fried chicken for breakfast.
Yeah.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken, rice. Sometimes the chicken is in gravy. Just,
but anyways, back to the hustle. So that's something I feel like I've always seen, whether it be you working, at Frisch's or working, being the manager at the laundromat or, working at National City, which is now PNC, or being, the manager of a few different McDonald's. Because you had a couple McDonald's underneath your
McDonald's,
watch. Hardee's. I remember Hardee's. And so
Holiday Inn.
That was earlier though.
No. When I worked at Frisch's during the day while you were at school.
Lisa worked there too.
I worked at Holiday Inn. No, Lisa worked at the Ramada.
Okay, but I do remember both. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So ABC Daycare. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember you working there, but I remember ABC Daycare.
Yeah. I worked there for Oh, wow, that was me, Lisa, and Penny.
And Penny, yeah.
That's actually when I had Misha. I was going in to open the school up that morning. I took Penny into work, and I'm like, I can't stay. It was me and her opening the building that morning. So, yeah.
I remember that place because I feel like, or maybe I'm thinking about Rainbow. I just remember Fig Newtons. I used to love that snack.
That was probably Rainbow.
Yeah, that was a good snack. Fig Newtons and milk. Okay, so let me ask you this. What is one of your favorite memories that you have with me? Like, we got a lot.
So many.
We have a lot. So let me name a few. Like, well, I don't want to name it. I don't want to say anything that I feel like you might say. So let me not give mine. But it doesn't have to be the most. But just what is one of the, one of your most memorable, one of your favorites. It doesn't have to be the favorite, but one of your favorites.
I think it was your first Christmas program at the church. You had on like a tuxedo
with the
a cummerbund type thing, and a little bow tie. And I think at St. Rita, you had learned how to sign to one of the songs.
Oh yeah.
So
we went and we went and we got a sign language book from the local library. It was a lot. It was in between Grandma's house and Kroger. Right,
Spades Library.
There you go. So we went over there. We got and we never took that book back. Sorry.
Really?
Sorry.
You should write them a check because I didn't remember that.
Okay, so go ahead.
So that was probably one of them. It was just so many. I mean, field trips with the school, overnight stays.
What do you mean overnight stays? Mom, you never let me go nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, like when you had company come.
You didn't let me have company.
Don't even
Mom,
say that.
You never let me have. We're not gonna do that, Mom. This
Brian,
is a new podcast.
Brandon, Sean.
Those are your nephews.
Bradley. Yes,
that doesn't count. I see them all the time. I want to have the friends from school over. You know, they have the sleepovers. They doing. I couldn't have nobody over to the house.
No, we're not doing that.
Why? That's what I want to know. I want to know why can I have friends
you
over?
Want to know too much in one night.
I know. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna get you back in here again. That's the thing. I don't know if you coming back. Why couldn't I have people over?
No, because people were all going through different things and they had different things.
I was deprived. I was deprived as a child.
No, he was not.
You wouldn't even let me go over their house.
No. Now, I did eventually. If you had a friend that stuck around for a long period of time, I would let you let them come.
Guys, my first sleepover,
probably 3 of them, maybe.
Kid you not, no cap involved. My first sleepover was my first night in college.
No, it was.
Mom, I'm not stunting.
No.
Whose house?
No.
If it wasn't family.
James used to come.
I never stayed night over his house.
No, you didn't.
So what are we talking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about people coming to you.
Nah.
You mean you going to somebody else? He
definitely did come over. He came over.
He did go out.
No,
yes,
I never
he
once.
He did go out.
Never
once.
He
went to Sean's house regularly.
That is my cousin. Okay?
Yes, it is.
That is what
he went to Lisa's house. His auntie Lisa.
That is my aunt.
Yes, he went to Bradley's house.
That's my cousin.
Yes, those are sleepovers. Count them.
She's naming off people who are like literally my brothers and other mothers.
Yes,
that's what she's naming off.
Yes,
I'm talking about people I had no relation with.
Why would you be wanting to stay over there?
That's what normal kids do.
No,
they have friends and they go over to their friend's house.
No.
But why?
Because it mattered to me what you seen, what you heard. And where we lived, we lived in the Indianapolis area, our area. I mean, we had a nice area for us. But there was a lot of things that went on in that area. So, like, drugs was common, alcohol was common. I mean, just a lot of things. And there was just some people and some things that I didn't want you to experience.
I'm just saying I was deprived.
And it was not just you, it was all of you guys.
That's not true. That is not true. Because I remember when Misha, it's weird because it seems like the more kids you had, the looser you got with your rules. You were loose. You was loose with the rules.
Okay, let's go. Let's see. Prove
with
it.
the rules.
No.
So I never got, like I said, my first sleepover was college. Okay. That was my first sleepover.
And if he would have called me before he went, he probably wouldn't have got to go, because why would you be going? I'm paying good money for a room for you to have your own room, and you wouldn't sleep at somebody else's house.
I'm Mom, it's college. You got to go sleep somewhere else.
No. Okay.
Okay. So
why?
This is what I'm saying. So I do remember James, who was my youngest brother, my only brother, my younger brother. He stayed over at other people's house who weren't necessarily family.
Who?
Malik.
You're right.
Thank you. So you got loose. You got loose.
What cousins do James have his age?
Doesn't matter.
He stayed with Malik at Sister May's house.
I get that.
Sister May, Brother May. That's when he could stay with. And I knew that their rules were like my rules. And even though they did get away with a couple things, I find out now about after they done buried Brother May, I found out but
rest in peace, Brother May.
Yes. But yes, you're right. He did. And that's the only place. That's where else?
I'm just saying though.
You're right. You know he did.
There was a little bit.
But we have been in the church with them for many years.
Oh, I just hear excuses, Mom. That's what I'm hearing.
And like I said, we had the same values.
Rules are definitely different, man. And I was deprived, like.
And that's the only place that James will tell you that he got to spend the night.
And so, you named the Christmas program, me signing, and I was singing. Was it the first Noel? Mm-hmm. Or maybe that was another one. I can't remember.
I think it was the first Noel.
Maybe it was the first Noel. Mm-hmm. That was a good song. But anyways, one of my favorite memories, or most memorable ones. So, we head down to Vincennes University to move me in. I feel like I've told you this, so this is not nothing new to you. But we head down to Vincennes University, and we get moved in. So Bradley's with me, Brian is with me. They helped us move in.
Okay.
You don't remember that?
The first move?
Yeah, the very first move, I think. Yeah, I'm actually 100% certain.
Okay.
Brian was there for sure, and I believe Bradley was there too.
Okay.
And so, boom, we move in. My roommate wasn't there, and actually that year they said, "Hey, it's possible you might be 3 to a room instead of 2." Mm-hmm. And we get there, my roommate hadn't gotten there yet, and so the room was pretty much empty. And so I picked what side I wanted, set my stuff up. You took me. It rained really bad that day. I remember too many details. It rained really bad because we went and we went to go pick up little odds and ends at Walmart. We had pretty much everything, but we went to go pick up some extra stuff at Walmart. And then you took me to. There's your grandkids. You know that up there.
They're fine. As long as you can hear them, they're good.
Okay. So we went to Walmart, pick up some odds and ends, and then we went and we ate at Ponderosa. You moved me in, set everything up, so then we go back, move in the stuff from Walmart, little odds and ends stuff, cleaning stuff. And I was like, okay, well, it seems like, everything's in order. And so you guys, make sure everything was good, and you left or whatever, or at least you left the room, left the building. So I don't think I went back out because it was raining, and so and then you called me and you're like, hey, come back out, and so I came back out into the rain, and you gave me $100. Okay, you gave me $100, and you gave that to me, and then you left. You left for good this time, and man, I got back into that room and I cried. I bawled like a, because it hit me, and I was like, yo, I'm about to wake up and my mama not gonna be here tomorrow. And I just like, I had to hurry up and get it out because I didn't know who my roommate was, and I don't know when he was coming. So I was like, let me get this out, man. You know what I mean? And I might end up taking a nap too, like right after that. Like it was one of those good cries. Like I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, she's not gonna be here. And so that's probably one of my most, most memorable moments. And so then I had another one that's similar, but you weren't there. And what it was when I came back from my honeymoon and I was leaving work and I went home and I got on your street and I realized I don't live here no more. So I had to go back to, where me and my wife was at. Mm-hmm. And so, but that was another moment, but it was similar because it's like, yo, like, dang, like, this is like my first time, like, being, like, for real away from my mom. So, those are, we got plenty more. We could talk about, like, Kaylin's birth.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, like, amazing. Well, that's a whole nother show.
That's a show.
We'll have her on.
Yeah.
We'll have her on. Sure. We'll have her sit right here in the middle, and we'll talk about that because that was.
And she's actually asked questions about it recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Listen, that was crazy. Well, hey, Mom, listen, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think? It wasn't that bad, was it?
It was not that bad.
That's what I'm talking about. It was, we talked. You know what I mean? We laughed.
We did.
We discussed some things. Now we are gonna go. If ever you come back, we are gonna go a little bit deeper. We touch on some things for sure, but we're gonna go a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? If ever you decide,
as long as you can stand it, that's all I'm saying. But every choice I made, I made it with you in mind.
Yeah.
So I know you're disappointed.
About what?
That you didn't get to go over your friend's house and spend the night.
Still.
Yeah, that's okay.
Still disappointed.
That's okay.
Angry.
I don't regret that decision at all. I know you're disappointed that you had to grow up and work in the church, and actually on tomorrow.
No, somebody just called me about a photo shoot, Mom. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it.
You ain't gonna be able to shoot that photo. But it just
well, real quick before we end it, tell people a little bit about Marvelous Monday and how they can help, because people are going to see this and people are going to be watching it. So for those of you guys who don't know, my mother runs through the church, through Sherman Street Church of God. Her and a lot of other people put together a program called Marvelous Monday, where they service the community, specifically young kids, in a non-COVID experience or situation. Kids come to the church on Mondays. They get homework help. They get fed, and there's also a spiritual component as well. And they pick kids up, drop them off, help families and things of that nature. But obviously, because of COVID, they haven't been able to meet on Mondays like they normally are. And so instead, you've been doing what?
We are taking care packages out to the kids once a month. And we're providing them with a hot meal, a care package for them, which has included face mask and treats and snacks and things like that. We often go toward the end of the month And the reason we chose the end of the month is because a lot of resources are depleted toward the end of the month. So sometimes kids finding their next meal is difficult, or families getting their next meal is
At the end of the
difficult
month is
at the
difficult.
end of the month. But one of the things that really touched my heart was last Monday evening, Kaylin, my granddaughter, called me and she said, Gammy, what's today? I said, it's Monday. And she used to hate going to Marvelous Monday. And I said, why? Well, I was looking for you to pull up in the van and you didn't come. I said, well, this is not my Monday to come. But in my spirit, I felt like, well, if she was looking for me,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
else is looking and waiting for us to pull up?
To pull up.
But it has been a blessing. We've had to change the way we do things, but we still try to provide them with scripture, a prayer, and
They've
a
been
hot meal.
hot meal. So there was one time you guys came around with fazoli's,
Yes.
and there was like marinara sauce, and there was Alfredo with some breadsticks and like noodles, so that you can feed the kids the noodles. And there was goodie bags involved. There's always a goodie bag involved. And then there's one pizza.
Yes.
Pizza has come through. What's some other things you guys have done?
Tomorrow it's going to be Popeye's chicken.
Ooh.
We're doing Popeye's because it's close to Thanksgiving. And the reason we went with the hot meal instead of just dropping groceries is because a lot of places you can get groceries, but some of the kids that we work with don't necessarily have lights, water, and gas. So if you get a canned item,
how do you cook it?
Yeah. So also for November, we're giving laundry detergent, dish detergent, toilet paper, paper towels. So they'll get a full bag of household items also on tomorrow. And
that's so dope.
Minister Dane.
Stop it. You gotta stop
He's
it.
going to be out there with us tomorrow.
You have to stop it.
Helping us get that out to the community.
Golden.
Yes.
Just Damon Golden. Yeah. Okay, so how can these people who are watching help? What can they do?
So November, December, we have 60 kids that we're trying to service that need Christmas sponsors. So we need people that are willing to go out and shop for a kid or kids, family, whatever you want. We want to help you reach your goal as far as giving back to the community.
Well, the goddamn podcast is gonna give $100 for the month of December.
Can I come back next week?
Nah, G. Nah, player. Nah, shout it. Nah, yeah, but no, we I think we can do that. I think the goddamn podcast we can swing $100 for Marvelous Monday and their efforts in the month of December and through these holidays, man. Because I think what you're doing is amazing, and there are a lot of kids whose lives are impacted greatly because of the presence that you have, and so. We're thankful. Thank you as a community member. Before just being your son and whatever else, but as a community member, I want to say thank you because these kids are deserving, and I'm glad that you are providing that for them.
Thank you.
And I know it's all because of God.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He did it for me.
Hallelujah.
Yes, he did it for you.
Hallelujah.
And he continues to do it. So I can't thank him enough. And if I can be used, I'm willing to be used.
If I had 10,000 tongues,
I could not praise him enough. But it is truly a blessing and an honor to serve the Anderson community. And I thank God for choosing me.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful, man. I'm super duper grateful. So, this is the first episode of the goddamn podcast. And it has been amazing. It has been great. I'm grateful. And we're going to go ahead and close this thing out, shawty. You know what I mean? So once again, this is my mother. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I could not and would not be who I am if it weren't for you. There's a lot of things that I haven't pressed you on that I will press you on. But it's crazy. I kind of heard my birthing story. That's pretty interesting. And we never had that conversation.
Never.
And so, still don't understand why I couldn't go spend the night with people's houses. But
But
whatever.
you made it.
Yeah. Through my storm and my test. And so, be on the lookout, man. The next episode is most likely going to feature my wife. And so, I did my mom first, do my wife, and then maybe I might bring in my kids on the third one, I'm thinking. Not 100% sure.
Good luck.
Yeah. Kaylin can sit
have a
and
lot
do it.
to say.
They have a lot to say. Kaylin can probably sit through it, but this is the goddamn podcast, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we're gonna see you next time. Yeah.